Hey everyone, Cypher here, and this is the very first episode of something I'm calling the Advanced Rookie's Guide to Battlefield 3, which I go over certain guns as well as the vehicles that are in the game, and this will be the substitute for the Rookie's Guide to the vehicles that are in the game, so you'll see them before I've gone through this video guide over the original, just normal Rookie's Guide to the game. Now, I asked a very good friend of mine known as Okaiden, aka OC, to participate in this, and all I said to them is, you get to pick the gun, I'll do the commentaries, and they said sure, and they picked the MP7 for the very first gun. So, here we are, MP7. Now, the MP7 is an SMG-based PDW, so that means, submachine guns, close quarter based gun, style gun. So that means here in canals, which is, a combination of long range, close range, in between here and well. So I'm always rushing into these shipping containers or around them, and basically would have my victory over them because the fact the MP7 shoots at 950 rounds per minute. That is a very fast rate of fire for a particular gun. That's why I'm using it with the support kit, because I'm going to be constantly, reloading as much, and I'm going to be wasting my rounds a lot faster due to that fact of 950 rounds per minute. That's pretty quick. Now, when we first start off with the gun, you are going to have 21 rounds. That's 20 rounds in your clip, followed by 1 in the chamber. Of course, where you saw how I reloaded, the clip is in that grip area, the handle, where you type the trigger and everything. So it's like, of course, that's the advantage of being it's a compact design and everything being close quarters base gun. Now, when it comes to attachments in the for this gun, now you can tell right away the iron sights are very clear, very simple to use, and honestly, I see no need for them. All right, but here I go from a hip fire to a looking down the sides, and sure, yeah, they're blinding light of the sun attachment, aka the tactical light, got me. It's like, boom, I'm on target a lot more quicker because, you go for the hip there, pretty quick. Now, this gun, for hip firing, is very top-notch on its own. Now, you can add the attachments, such as the laser sight, which right at the gate increases your hip fire accuracy. That's, like, major important right there. And, of course, most of the time when you're messing around with this type of gun, you are going to be going from a hip fire situation, and it's recommended by a lot of experienced Battlefield players, go from hip right to your aim down sights. You are going to be able to put the rounds on your target much faster. Of course, hip firing is still recommended. Now, I'm also using the extended mags attachments, which you get after a certain amount of kills. So it's like, ooh, that's quite a bit of work you have to do to unlock a really useful attachment. And honestly, it is definitely one of them that's really useful. I mean, so useful. It's so crazy. As you see, that's 41 rounds in total. Unfortunately, yeah, when you have a set mags, you lose how many rounds are in your reserve, but you know what? Who cares? Especially if you're messing around with it's on the support kit, you are going to do very well with the gun. Now, like I said, this gun is designed for close quarters, but however, you can go a bit too medium range if you aim down the sights and you're able to time your shots right. Now, the two modes that are on this gun obviously are going to be fully automatic as well as the selected fire, which is the one dot, which you'll see later on in the video. I will switch over when I'm shooting at a sniper. I switch it over to the single fire so I can basically place my shots more accurate towards my target. Now, of course, unfortunately, that high rate of fire, your recoil is going to be crazy to the gun, unfortunately, so that's why I missed the shots earlier. And of course, I'm also rocking around with the suppression squad specialization. Now, when you're wrestling by yourself and you haven't unlocked the squad-based specialization perks or whatever you want to call them, rock around with your player version, which here you can do is the ammunition one, the ammo one, or you can go with the suppression. With a gun like that, 950 rounds per minute, that suppression is going to help out, and you're able to place the rounds onto your target a little more better because your opponent is going to be suppressed. like crazy. Up here, boom, close range, hip fire wins. Of course, that guy was messing with an LMG. So yeah, but you know, you gotta give credit to some of these guys that are actually, you know, fighting with some in close quarter situations with the full length gun. It's crazy. All right, like right here, see, there's a sniper right there. I'm gonna, you know, flush him out there with that grenade, and then I'm gonna switch. All right, see, I switched it over right to the single selected fire, and I'm just gonna tap the fire to control my shots, and boom. Now I'm keeping the laser sight on, and if you look very carefully enough, you actually will see that the laser dot sits on the very top of that center post of the iron sight. So it's like, that's pretty impressive. So it's like a little additional beast slang. But you know, pick how you want to do it. Now, this gun can be a very useful stealth-based gun if you want. So that means put the suppressor on if you want. But I don't really recommend it. This is really definitely one of those guns you can say it's a spray and pray, run and gun type tactical move. And yes, unfortunately, I did waste quite a bit of rounds to it because unfortunately, this gun's maximum damage at start is at 20 rounds and then goes down to around 10 rounds, or 10 points. That's per bullet. So that means right out of the gate, that means 10 rounds at distance is to kill an opponent and 5 at range. Ping points, of course, unfortunately, being that higher rate of fire, those rounds are not going to hit, so thus you're going to waste, of course, some rounds. Now, even your hip firing, do look down your iron sights once in a while. Alright, it's going to be useful. And it's, when you're first starting off, and of course, here I'm playing like aggressive. You really got to play aggressive with this type of gun. If you're not, you're kind of holding back on its very potential, how it can be so useful. Now, definitely, if you want to have a good setup to match this gun with its rate of fire, now, like I said, this thing has got a good damage ability of 20 points, per bullet out of the gate. You want to have it combined with a good sidearm. Like here, I'm using the MP412 Rex. Alright, it's a revolver, 6 shots, so yeah, I'm limited on how many rounds I have in my gun there, but yet its power behind it is very, very strong, so it's a good sidearm. Or you can put in, maybe you say the 44 mag, or you could go with the the 93R, or some people can call the Rat Mag, maybe. Alright, no, you just pick whatever handgun you feel like it's going to do very well on. Alright, just pick what you feel comfortable with. Or wherever place those on. Say maybe doing a stealth class, put a suppressor gun on, such as the MP443s, or the M9, or even the M1911 suppress. Now, unfortunately, it's kind of a downside is the fact of the MP7 does fail on group combats. The effect is that you only have 41 rounds, it's 950 rounds. It's like very bad. Unfortunately. And of course, yes, LMGs do win because of the more damage they have. But, as an overall, I will admit that the MP7 is definitely a very worthy PDW class-based gun that, doesn't matter what you're doing, this gun can be a lethal, spray and pray, destructive weapon. Very, very destructive. Man, yeah, I love this gun. I personally love it. It's one-on-one. If I feel like I'm in a close quarter situation, such I'm on the subway portion of Operation Metro, either Conquest or Rush, or here on Team Deathmatch on the canals, I know the MP7 is going to win in those close quarter situations. But unfortunately, here on the long range, that guy ran away. I gotta go and pull out my pistol and basically go to town on guy first. Get your knife right there, buddy. But you gotta go and be little Rambo. You gotta be Rambo, plain and simple. So, on the next episode, episode 2 of the Rookie's Guide, or Advanced Rookie's Guide, I should say, I'll be going over the last gun that you do unlock by normal ranking, the Asval. So until then, my great fellow rookies on the battlefield, aim down your sights very well, and make sure those shots hit dead key. If you don't, you're going to be digging your own grave. See you in the next episode, everyone.